Do you want to learn how to add pagination to your Rails 6 application? If so, stick around to find out how. I'm Thomas with Brain Trust Digital. I'm a full stack developer obsessed with learning. If you're interested in learning full stack web development, please consider subscribing below. I have a goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers, so it would really mean the world to me if you consider subscribing or sharing with a friend who you think might also be interested in this type of content. In this AWS Rails tutorial, we're going to walk through how to add pagination to your Rails 6 application with the Kaminari Gem. I'm going to walk through how to install the gem, how to generate the views and have them styled for Bootstrap 4, and finally, how to paginate for our users and our videos. So with that out of the way, let's get into this tutorial on how to add pagination to your Rails 6 application with Kaminari. As you can see, we have the AWS Rails app loaded locally. If you haven't seen this tutorial series yet, I'll link to it in the card as well as the description. This is just a Rails application that I build up by example to use for this tutorial series. So let's go ahead and jump to the application and we'll add Kaminari to the gem file. In the gem file, we can go ahead and enter down once and add in the Kaminari gem. We can switch over to the terminal now and bundle install to get our new gem pulled in. Now that we've got Kaminari installed, we can go ahead and run the Rails G Kaminari :config to generate a Kaminari config file. This is just a quick place where we can store all of our initial configuration and settings for Kaminari. The last thing we'd want to do here in the terminal is generate our views. This is going to allow us to apply the appropriate classes so that it's styled correctly for Bootstrap 4. If you type Rails G Kaminari views, while this didn't generate our views quite yet, as we didn't pass in the required theme option, I just wanted to run this command quickly so you can see all of the various options for themes that you can choose from. They have default 2, 3, and 4 versions of Bootstrap, Bourbon, Bulma, and so on. So you can pick whatever front-end framework you're using from this list, or you could use the default and then override it to add the classes if you want to style for your own custom framework or a framework that's not on this list. In our case, we're using Bootstrap 4. So we're going to copy this, hit the up arrow to grab the command again, hit a spacebar, and then we're going to paste in Bootstrap 4 and rerun this command. As you can see, this generated all the view files we need. So let's go ahead in our application and check out everything that we've created. First, let's go ahead and check out that config file. In app config, initializers, Kaminari config. Here you can see the various config options. They're all commented out, but they're all also displaying the Kaminari defaults. In our case, let's go ahead and override the default per page value of 25. And instead, let's just say we want to display 10 per page. As this is an initializer, we want to make sure this gets picked up. So let's go ahead and restart our Rails application just to make sure. So I have the server running in a separate tab. So I just switched over to restart that really quickly. I'm going to switch over to my primary tab that I'm working in iTerm. Next, we can go ahead and check out the views. Here you can see the generate views command created this Kaminari folder, as well as all the files inside. All these views were generated with Bootstrap 4 styling in mind, so it should look really clean once we present it on the front end. Now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and utilize Kaminari to paginate our users and our videos. So the first thing let's do is go over to our user model. Here in our user model, we can add the paginates per 20. This is just an example of how we could have the default value of 10 for everything, and then we could decide that on this user model specifically, we want to paginate every 20 users to a page. So we'll go ahead and save that, and then we're going to open up the users controller. Here in the users controller, we just need to change this line populating the user's instance variable to say user.page, and then we're going to pass in the params page. The last thing we need to do to display our pagination is flip over to the user's index page, and then we'll just add the call to output Kaminari pagination. So here in our users index page, we're just going to drop down below our unordered list and add a call to paginate users. You flip back over to the front application and reload, you get an error because we put param instead of params. So let's go ahead and correct that now. Params page, reload, and there you go. You don't see any changes. So what's happening? Well, we don't have 20 users yet signed up for our website. Feel free to sign up for AWSRails.com for all of your AWS and Rails learning needs. So let's go ahead back in the application and we're going to lower this down a little bit. Let's just say paginates per 2 so we can actually see something happen here. And there you go. Now you can see we only have 2 users. Unfortunately, one of our users didn't put a first and last name, so we might have to add a validation there in the future. But then if you click on the second page, you can see there's Bear, there's my account. Third page, you can see Chelsea. And Kaminari just kind of takes care of all of this for us, along with like the previous page, first page, last page. So let's go ahead and paginate our videos as well. I just want to interrupt for a quick second to see if you're finding value here. And if you are, I really appreciate it if you consider subscribing. Typically at this point, my coworker Bear would perform tricks that are really impressive to try and entertain you and convince you to subscribe. Unfortunately, we had an incident with an avocado and he's still recovering. He got sentenced to 10 more days of cone life, so we're just gonna let him go ahead and rest up. If you flip back over to the application, let's go ahead and open the video model. In App, Models, Video. Here in the video model, we're going to throw 4 videos per page, so we'll just say paginates per 4. Next, we need to open the video controller to pass in that same page params as we did before, this time without the typo. So here under the index method, we're gonna say video.page params plural, and then pass in the page param. The last thing we need to do here is flip over to the video's index view and add in the call to Kaminari's paginate. So here, just below our admin exclusive button to add new videos, we're gonna enter down a couple of times and then drop in the paginate call with our video's instance variable. So we'll go ahead and save. We'll flip back over to our application and visit the videos section. As you can see, just like before with the users, we are now paginating our videos as well. You can click through various page numbers, and then you have these convenient links that show up when appropriate. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any ideas or questions. I want to continue to build out the AWS Rails website so that it could slowly become a very useful resource for those trying to learn AWS or Rails, or maybe both at the same time. So any questions you have or confusion you have in your Rails apps or integrations between AWS and Rails would be really beneficial to know. So I guess the last thing we should do here is go ahead and commit and deploy our code. Flip back over to the terminal. We're gonna go ahead and clear the screen. Then we'll run get status. You can see all the changes we made, as well as a few minor styling cleanups that I performed off camera so that this page looked a little bit nicer. So the first thing we're gonna do is check out a branch, check out -b, add pagination, run get add dot to add all our files, get commit -m, adds pagination, Kaminari, or run get push. It's gonna push our code up to GitHub. This is the point where if you're working with the team, you would create a pull request and have your teammate review. In an effort to save time, we're just gonna go ahead and merge our commit and deploy. Get checkout master, get merge, add pagination, get push, and then bundle exec cap production deploy. Now that our application's finished deploying, let's go ahead and check it out on the front end. Loading up aws-rails.com, as you can see, we can navigate to the videos, and we now have pagination in place. As always, I hope this helped you out. And if you have any questions or comments or ideas for future tutorials you'd like to see, please let me know in the comment section below. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. That really helps out the channel, and I can't tell you how much that means to me. And with that, I'll catch you in the next AWS Rails tutorial.